Good afternoon. Today on British Cars, we're going to change the slave cylinder out on my 1973 Triumph Stag, which is a Mark II. So this is the car. And this is the slave cylinder here. There's a separate reservoir, so we'll be taking that off. It unbolts from the inside, and then this is the lines here that runs across the back of the block and down to the slave cylinder. So let's get started. So to start, take the cap off the reservoir. This is just a turkey baster. Put a clamp on it because the brake fluid does soften this up and wants to slide off if you don't put a clamp on it. So, get this stuff out of here. I'm going to be careful because brake fluid will eat paint. We don't really need to do that. So we're still going to have a little bit of fluid because there's a bit of a rubber hose right there. So we'll stuff some rags underneath and then take that off. Well, that was actually really tight. I'm using this little ratchet with a long screwdriver bit on it because wasn't anything else that really fit in there. Man, it was tight. My guess is it's been on there since 1973. So as soon as it finally broke loose, it was pretty easy after that. And then we also take this clamp off that holds the reservoir. It's just a 5/16 nut. Well, I got it out with the help of this. That this fit around it, went underneath. I got it started with a screwdriver. Actually, looking at that bracket, I don't know whether the bracket just has a slot in it, which went over this bolt. Whether that just never had a bolt, doesn't look like it ever did. But there's no marks on the inside of the bracket, so apparently it just slides in. Next, we need to take the line out. I think that. Next, we need to get this line off, 1/2 inch. Actually, had it loosened up the other day, so it was pretty tight too, but a lot easier today. And looks like I took those rags out of there too soon. Should stuff those underneath because this is bound to drip a bit. There's this line. So this line is actually just a small piece of steel brake line, and then it has nylon for most of its length, nylon tubing. This is this red colored stuff here. Oh, now we get to the fun part. Get inside and get up underneath the dashboard and take that out. So I lost the audio on this clip, don't know why, but this is the underside of the dash. That's the clutch pedal. You can see it's kind of hard to get to. What I'm going to have to do is get that connector from the master cylinder to the clutch out, and there seems to be a hole drilled through the clutch here to clutch pedal to give access to the head of the bolt. So I'm getting ready to undo that. Alright, well I got it out. I had to use this tool again. This was long enough to get through the clutch pedal, and this fit down between the brake and the clutch, so not much room there. And this is what was in there. This almost looks like those things you use in photo albums. This is a T-nut and then just a bolt through it. And I'm really thinking that this probably was not what the car came with originally, but then again, there's a hole through the clutch pedal, but then again, someone may have put that there. So I don't know. So that's out. Pedal's way up now, so hopefully that'll give me better access to these bolts right there. You can see it's the end of the slave cylinder in there. It should just be a 1/2 inch bolt, so I'm hoping those will come out pretty readily. So I'll get to work on that. Alright, well those bolts came out pretty easy, just a 1/2 inch socket and a long extension. And hopefully this thing should just lift out of here now. There we go. Well, there it is. You can see I get some sunshine here. You can see that the push rod's wet. I think that's where it's been leaking oil or brake fluid, because the cylinder had been creeping down slowly for quite a while. So we bought a new one, TRW brand. I expect I need to change over the push rod, but let's take a look. So here's the new master cylinder. As you can see, it actually has the push rod on it, so that's way cool. So it's just a matter of getting in there and putting it together now, I guess. We'll check it against the old one. I'm pretty sure that this one's Lockheed, this one's TRW. But it looks like they're not identical, that they will interchange. So let's go ahead and put this through the firewall. See if we can't get this bolted up. I'll have to figure out. I notice how much smaller that hole is than that, but that looks drilled out. So I did buy a new push pin, so I'll have to figure out whether I'm going to use what they used or back the other way. So I'll get back to you. So I looked, and it is drilled out a little bit, but I think that pin is going to work. So I'm working by myself, so I put some rags for it to sit on and lined it up with this, and that got it close enough I got a bolt started through on the other side. And that other bolt, it's just really hand tight, but it's enough to hold that in place. I'll go put the other bolt in. So this here's the long extension, 1/2-inch bit. Put a wobbly on the end, that would be good. You know, the extensions that have the rounded ends, because directly in line is right through the pedal, so you have to go at a little bit of an angle, but even that worked out pretty well. So I got the bottom bolt started and just hand tight, and I have to go in now. Try to get that second bolt. You can see the first one, and the other one's kind of in the shadow. Looks like a little bit out of line. I'll just take the screwdriver and line it back up. And there we are. Nice new pin, cotter pin, and a nice shiny washer. I'll have to get it up in there. So it's going to be fiddly, but it'll be okay. So that's back in. We'll replace that little piece of rubber line where we used the clamps and cleaned everything up. And I bought a fancy line to connect the master and the slave. This is braided stainless steel. Bit overkill, but hey, it looks nice. What the heck. So I'm going to wind this end in, and then we'll have to get the car up on the lift so we can disconnect the other end out of the slave cylinder. And here's the slave cylinder. Here's the line we'll have to unbolt, and there's, you just see it up there, there's the line coming down. I'll have to feed it the rest of the way through. The unfortunate thing is, if you look at the angle this is at, I'm going to have to unbolt it, turn it 90 degrees to get it to bleed properly, which is a problem I've had in the past. So it's not that big a deal, a couple of 1/2-inch bolts, but it's just like, Jesus, couldn't have done that done some other way. Oh well, such is life. So without any further ado, I think we got it all buttoned up, so I'm going to lower it down and see if it works. But it's getting dark, so I'm going to close this one out. So don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye.